Good afternoon. Again, my name is Rochelle Brocksmith. I'm from the Mobility Solutions Marketing Group at Cisco Systems. And well, I'm really happy to be here to talk with you about this topic today. It was quite interesting, actually. A colleague of mine was intending to be here and got called away on an unexpected business trip and said, you know, Rochelle, could you sit in on the panel for me? And I said, sure, what's the topic? And he said, well, you know, dual mode devices. And I said, okay, well, you know, that's a very broad topic, and generally when we start to think about dual mode devices, you know, an even broader area to be considered is the fixed mode convergence, as my additional panelists have talked about. But the more I started thinking about it, the more I started thinking about, you know, that's actually very true. In terms of fixed mode convergence, it is a very broad subject that has been discussed in many venues, and there are a lot of different interpretations of what that is. And for the most part, you know, from Cisco's perspective, it's actually more than just a single technology or just a single solution. It encompasses many different things. For some people, it might be the dual mode devices that we're talking about today. For others, it could be applications like single number reach. And for others, it's the seamless handoff. But what I would propose is that it's an overarching, encompassing concept or solution, and one that needs to be taken into consideration from a user's perspective. So I'm going to take a little bit of a different tact today in terms of not talking about just the technologies themselves, but in terms of who's using them, why they're using them, and in what context. When you start to think about, you know, who are the mobile workers that are using fixed mobile convergence in terms of dual mode handsets, the requirements of the many users are going to be a very broad range. You have to take into consideration not only the clients, but the applications as well as the different networks that are involved. And that's going to mean many different things to different people in terms of what their needs are, in terms of what we are calling at Cisco the mobile workspace consists of. If you think about it yourself, I mean, think about what your mobile workspace looks like. You might have a dual mode phone. You might just have a single mode phone. You might have an IP phone, you know, at your desk. Laptops, mobile wireless laptops are also very, very relied upon in today's business venues. So it's going to be an encompassing suite, if you will, of the different elements that are going to make up what makes your workspace mobile. And dual mode handset devices are just one element of that. The way that we look at it at Cisco is basically that you know, fixed mobile convergence is really about the consistent delivery of a set of services across both fixed and wireless networks. And as you can see on this slide, that is going to include things like you know, integrated directories, things like presence, which are becoming much more useful in terms of familiarity. People are aware of what presence is, they are expecting and demanding it, and location, in terms of being able to know, you know, where are the resources that you need to contact throughout your day, what contacts do you need to have and where are they located. So there are a wide spread of services that are involved with being able to provide users the access to the information that they need, the resources that they need over the devices that they're going to most likely use in their day-to-day mobile workspace. So if I step back and start thinking about, you know, who are these mobile workers that we're talking about? Who is going to be using these dual mode devices, and is it going to be business critical for them? Cisco's kind of identified 5 categories, or 5 profiles, if you will, of the standard mobile workers. And this is a build slide. I'll go ahead and build it out for the sake of time. But basically, those are going to consist of your road warrior. I'm sure you're all familiar with, you know, the road warrior, someone who's out on the field most of the time. Your corridor cruisers, who are in-building mobile workers. Campus mobiles are what we are calling like healthcare workers or retail associates, who again, they don't necessarily sit at a desk, but they're moving around all the time. And then you have your teleworkers and your field post workers. Now again, just for the sake of time, I'm just going to touch on a couple of these in terms of you know, how they are going to be using dual mode devices today. From a corridor cruiser perspective, again, if you ask, you know, who is a corridor cruiser? Well, I'll tell you, I'm a corridor cruiser. I'm someone who has a fixed phone line and be able to extend that wherever they go. Again, that's going to be something that you'll see. And then, of course, there's the field force. And we typically characterize these as, delivery people who are going to be out using the more ruggedized PDA type of dual devices. Security is going to be a big deal for these users because they are more heavily probably going to be using the data aspect of their device, but still need to be able to fall back on the voice capabilities as well. So we see a lot of requirements for being able to substantiate and be able to sustain security, the same level of security that they have when they are associated with their home office, their enterprise office, or anywhere out in the field as well.